5 shots made, 21 attempts, 0 3-pointers, 0 free throws made. These aren't the numbers you'd expect from the most hyped basketball prospect since LeBron James, but that's exactly what happened when Cooper Flagg stepped onto the Summer League court for the first time as a professional. The basketball world watched in disbelief as the consensus #1 pick looked nothing like the dominant force who terrorized college basketball just months earlier. But here's what nobody's telling you about that performance and why this disaster might actually be the best thing that could have happened to his career. The hype surrounding Cooper Flagg wasn't just your typical draft prospect excitement. This was something different entirely. After just 1 season at Duke, where he averaged over 19 points per game and led the Blue Devils to a Final Four appearance, scouts were already comparing him to Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum. The kid from Maine had become basketball royalty overnight, with some analysts calling him the most complete prospect they'd seen in over a decade. Social media was buzzing with highlight reels, draft experts were unanimous in their praise, and betting odds had him as a lock for Rookie of the Year before he'd even been drafted. The pressure was suffocating, but everyone assumed a player of his caliber would handle it effortlessly. When the Dallas Mavericks selected him first overall, the basketball world collectively nodded in approval. This wasn't a controversial pick or a reach and miss. This was destiny. The Summer League debut against the Lakers was supposed to be a coronation, a coming-out party where Flagg would announce his arrival to the professional ranks. Thousands of fans packed the arena, not for a meaningless exhibition game, but to witness history in the making. The energy was electric, cameras were rolling, and everyone from NBA executives to casual fans was glued to their screens. This was the moment we'd all been waiting for. Then reality hit like a freight train. The first few possessions showed flashes of the player everyone expected: knee-smooth handles, court vision, that trademark confidence. But as the game progressed, something was clearly off. Shots that had been automatic at Duke were clanging off the rim. The three-point stroke that had been so reliable was nowhere to be found. His teammates kept feeding him the ball. The coaching staff kept drawing up plays for him, but nothing was falling. You could see the frustration building with each missed attempt, the confidence slowly draining from his body language. By the fourth quarter, the arena had gone from electric anticipation to uncomfortable silence. The final numbers were brutal and impossible to ignore. 5 made field goals on 21 attempts. That's a shooting percentage that would make even the worst NBA players cringe. 0 3-pointers made on 5 attempts from a player who was supposed to be a legitimate outside threat. Perhaps most shocking of all, he missed his only free throw attempt, the thing that almost never happens to elite prospects. When you compare these numbers to other top picks' debuts, the contrast is staggering. LeBron shot 60% in his first Summer League game. Kevin Durant had 20 points on decent efficiency. Even players who weren't considered elite shooters managed to find their rhythm quickly. Flagg's performance was historically poor for a consensus #1 pick. But here's where the story gets interesting, and where most people are getting it completely wrong. While everyone was focused on the shooting percentages, they missed what was actually happening on the court. Flagg finished with 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. More importantly, his team won the game. And in the crucial final minutes, he made the plays that mattered most. The defensive stop with under a minute left, the assist that set up the game-winning basket, the leadership he showed when his shot wasn't falling. These were the moments that actually defined his debut. NBA scouts and executives weren't panicking like the casual fans were. They saw exactly what they expected to see from a player adjusting to a new level of competition. The social media explosion that followed was predictable but harsh. Memes comparing him to draft busts started circulating within hours. Hot take artists were already questioning whether he was worthy of the #1 pick. The criticism was relentless and often unfair, but it revealed something important about the modern sports landscape. In an era of instant gratification and highlight reel culture, one bad shooting night can completely overshadow everything else a player brings to the table. Former NBA players who had been through similar experiences started speaking out, reminding everyone that Summer League performances rarely predict future success, but their voices were drowned out by the noise of social media overreaction. What makes this situation even more fascinating is how it fits into the broader pattern of elite prospects' early struggles. Michael Jordan was famously cut from his high school varsity team. Kobe Bryant shot 4 air balls in a crucial playoff game as a teenager. Kevin Durant was criticized for his thin frame and questioned about his ability to handle NBA physicality. The greatest players in basketball history almost always face significant adversity early in their careers, and how they respond to that adversity often determines their ultimate success. Flagg's shooting struggles might seem devastating now, but they're actually part of a well-documented pattern that separates future superstars from career disappointments. The Dallas Mavericks' reaction to the performance was telling and should have calmed the panic among fans. Rather than showing concern or making excuses, the coaching staff emphasized the positives from the game. They talked about his basketball IQ, his ability to impact winning even when his shot wasn't falling, and his composure under pressure. The development plan they have for Flagg was never built around him being perfect immediately. They expect growing pains, they expect adjustment periods, and they're prepared to support him through the inevitable ups and downs of his rookie season. The fact that he struggled with his shooting while excelling in other areas actually fits perfectly into their long-term vision for his development. This debut performance might end up being exactly what Cooper Flagg needed, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. The pressure and expectations surrounding him were reaching unhealthy levels, and a perfect debut would have only intensified that pressure. Now he's faced adversity at the professional level, and shown that he can handle it with maturity and grace. He's learned that NBA-level athleticism and length will challenge him in ways college basketball never did. Most importantly, he's been reminded that his value as a player extends far beyond his shooting percentage on any given night. The greatest players use moments like this as fuel, as motivation to prove their doubters wrong and exceed even their own expectations. The question now isn't whether Cooper Flagg will recover from this performance. It's whether he'll use it as the foundation for something even greater than anyone imagined. History suggests that the best players often need moments of humility to unlock their full potential, and if that's the case, then this debut might be remembered as the turning point that transformed a good prospect into a generational talent.